In the middle of an ordinary forest, nestled between whispering trees and a sleepy little stream, there stood an old, crooked willow tree. It looked like any other tree, if you didn't know its secret. But deep inside its twisted trunk, hidden behind a patch of moss, was a tiny wooden door. And if you opened that door at exactly the right time, just after the crickets began their songs and before the moon peeked over the hill, you'd find Willow Tree Station. The station was lit by firefly lamps and ran only one train, the Midnight Maple Express. This train didn't carry suitcases. It didn't honk or roar or rumble. It glided. It shimmered. And it only took passengers with one rule: you had to be curious. That's how a little fox named Kip found it. Kip wasn't sleepy like his siblings. He was always asking questions. Why do stars sparkle? Where do rivers end? How does a spider spin its web without getting stuck? One night, while the forest yawned and the breeze hummed lullabies, Kip wandered close to the willow and saw the little door creak open. Kip whispered, tilting his head. That's not something you see every night. He slipped inside, paused quiet as a whisper, and gasped. The station glowed with golden light. Tiny creatures bustled about. An owl conductor with silver feathers, a hedgehog sweeping leaves off the platform, and even a porcupine selling glowing snacks. The owl tipped his hat. Evening, young fox. First ride? Kip nodded. Where does the train go? The owl winked. Anywhere your wonder wants to wander. So Kip climbed aboard. The train pulled away without a sound, gliding through forests, floating over rivers, and even curling through clouds. Out the window, Kip saw things no one ever had before. Waterfall that poured moonlight instead of water. A field of crickets, playing violins made of grass. Leaves that painted pictures in the air as they twirled. A flock of glowing birds that danced like wind chimes in the sky. Every twist in the tracks led to something new, something peaceful, something magical. But none of it was loud or wild. It was the kind of magic that made you breathe slower, that made your eyes go wide, and then gently, slowly, start to close. After a while, Kip's tail curled beside him, and his eyes began to flutter. The owl smiled from the front of the train. All aboard, fall asleep sooner or later. When the Midnight Maple Express returned to Willow Tree Station, Kip stepped off, quiet and thoughtful. The forest was still dark and gentle. The door in the willow closed behind him. He padded back to his den, his head full of glowing waterfalls, dancing birds, and a train that knew the way to dreams without ever needing a track. And though no one else had seen it, Kip didn't mind. Some things, he thought, are just meant to be found by curious hearts. And if you're ever walking past a willow tree just before the moon rises, listen closely. You might hear the soft glide of a train that runs only at night, and only for those who still wonder. The end.